Hello guys, welcome to Feral Druid Phase 3 SoD PvP Guide. I've already made a Phase 2 guide and things are pretty much the same in terms of mechanics and gameplay 10 levels later, but now we got some new gear pieces, new runes and talents. I'll cover all of these and itemization with ItemRack Addon, what pieces to combine, how to make item sets, when to change some gear pieces, some weak auras, macros and more. Literally everything you need to know about Feral in Phase 3. Without further ado, let's start with the gear. I already have video about this gear for Phase 3 on my channel, so if you want more in-depth explanations about certain pieces, go and check that video in description. With that being said, I'll cover this thread fast. The easiest way to be ready for PvP is to grind level 7 PvP rank. How you obtain rank 7? Just download the ranker add-on and grind the battlegrounds to earn honor points. The more points, the bigger rank. This add-on shows you how much you need until the next rank and pace you need to fulfill on daily basis to earn it. Okay, when you earn rank 7, you'll be able to get exclusive PvP pieces on main set, which give you some nice stamina, hit and crit rating, which are main stats you need. But this isn't the best way to go. For more precise information, check out the last video. About gear in general, you should have at least 5% hit rating. It's not bad to have all up to 7% to make the white attacks hit more frequently, but I wouldn't go above that because you will lose some other offensive stats that way. Next to hit rating, don't wear items without any stamina. These are clearly full PV items which we don't need. Focus on getting your weapon first on Trilateral Veil event. It can take 1 day to get it with proper groups. Farm reputation from Watson Ring, it's easy. Then farm 12 wild offerings for Breath of the Wild, also takes 1 day. Thing I missed in last video about gear and need to mention now is Wolf Head enchant that you get by trading Wolf's Head item in Nightmare Incursion Splendor and get enchant that restores 20 energy on Shapeshift. Insanely important with fewer talent. Must have. Other things to watch out about gear are gear set bonuses. Make sure to unlock 3 set bonus on PvP set and try to chase coagulated 2 set bonus of strength. But be careful which pieces you make PvE, which PvP. It's not the same. That's more or less everything I could say about gear in general without listing items. Just check out the video in description for whole list with some explanations. Next, we talk about talents. This is how a build looks like in Phase 2. 0 points in Balance Tree, Feral up to Heart of the Wild, and 5 out of 5 in Curer Rest Tree for Energy Restore. We got another 10 levels and 10 points, which now allow us to finally end Battle Tree and get some bonus Intellect, Strength, and Critical Strike. We can say some nice offensive bonuses. Then we have 4 more points to spend. You can choose between Feral Instinct for better stealth, or you can drop 2 points into Improved and Rage, which can really be good thing to go with new rune Improved Frenzy Regeneration that we'll cover in Rune thread. I would personally go with this instead of Stealth. Last 2 points could be dropped into Natural Grass and Improved Natural Grass for some melee fights and enemy pets. Or 1 point there and 1 point into Feral Instinct. It's all up to you, won't make any significant impact. Other less popular and still not worth way to go in Phase 3 is chasing Natural Shapeshifter for Shift Mana Decrease. You will need to drop almost whole offensive bonuses from Feral Tree and Improved and Rage from Restoration to hit 3 out of 3 Shapeshifter. I still don't think this is worth going because it really depends from fight to fight, when a lot of Shapeshift will actually worth it because you lose 3% critical, 12% intellect, strength and stamina in bear form, just too much. Also there are PvE gear set that makes our Shapeshift 30% mana reduced, but going that well will sacrifice our stamina. Just wait for Phase 4. Okay, we got 6 new Druid runes in Phase 3. All you need to farm for PvP is Improved Box Skin and Improved Frenzy Regeneration. Core is optional and mostly PvE rune. Okay, rune we gonna be using for head slot is Box Skin. Core just have too freaking low chance to proc and it's absolutely not worth taking in PvP. While on the other side, Box Skin rune allows us to use it in combat without switching to human form and sacrificing our combat speed. On chest, you will need both runes, and you will switch them a lot. Wild Strike is generally used in most cases, but Survival of the Fittest is a must against rogues, hunters, and it's good against warriors, but it's not must. Wrist, Frenzy Regeneration, and this might be the biggest surprise in this phase. Like I was mentioning even before it was released, that will be a banger defensive cooldown, and you will see why in gameplay part. On hand slot, Mangle is standard against most enemies, but Sunfire is only viable options against paladins and mages. Could also be used against rogues and hunters, so you will need to have Sunfire as an option on hand slot because it's still not overcame. Waist slot, of course Berserk. Leg slot, Savager, but not in all cases. In fact, you can combine even 3 runes on this slot. You'll be using Savage in 80% of fights, but against rogues and hunters with different gear setup, you'll be using Lacerate since you will be camping in bear form all the time. Third solution is using Live Bloom. Definitely an option against mages, while you chase them and switch forms constantly. It has 0.5 second global cooldown, so it's really nice potion of heal in that kind of fights. Pit slot again with a double rune, King of the Jungle for offensive matchups and Survival Instinct for more defensive fights. In general, you use jungle for fast-paced fights where we need to bring down enemies in berserk time, like druids, warlocks, warriors, priests are 50-50 because of dispersion and stun procs. Survival Instinct could make a good comeback if his lucky stuns hit you 2 times in a one fight. I don't like using jungle against mages, especially if you are Mangle builded. Same stands for hunters, rogues and paladins. Paladins are tricky, you can run jungle but they will divine shield and you need to retreat in that moment. If paladin deals some lucky crits, you can pull out the situation with survival instinct, otherwise you could be dead. If you play Sunfire, you shouldn't have problems anyway, he shouldn't be able to kill you whether rune you run on feet. So you may ask me now, hey bro, how the hell we switch runes for every single fight? And the answer is ItemRack Addon, which will be our next strat. So in case to be effective in PvP, you'll need to switch sets and some of the gear pieces with runes for almost each fight. Don't be afraid, it's not that hard. Firstly, you need duplicates or different set pieces you'll be switching all the time. Now it's easy with PvP gear, you just buy the duplicates of PvP chest, legs and hands and just set different runes and change them when you need. In general, you'll be using 2 main sets for PvP. First one is offensive normal one with Wild Strikes, Mangle, Savage and King of the Jungle. You will walk around in this PvP set. Other one will be full tank one, you'll be using when you see hunters and rogues, with completely different runes as you can see. For defensive set, you'll be focusing on stamina the most and don't bother losing offensive stats. Okay, how we make this happen? Open ItemRack and click set stop. Name first set whatever you want and then choose your gear for each slot. When you do that, click save and bind key. On bind key, you press whatever button you like to switch your gear sets on. My main PvP set is binded to Shift plus mouse button 4. Other tank set is Shift plus mouse button 5. Make your second tank set just by switching any gear piece and just rename that and click save. And that way you will make second set and bind it. That's it. But you don't wanna always switch your whole gear set and runes. That's why you make unique icons like this to make it easily accessible. Open your equipment and click Alt plus left click on item which shortcut you want to make. You can see I have chest, hands, feet and trinkets. That way you will be able to switch Sunfire hands in a blink of an eye and open on a paladin, for example. You can switch feet to have survival instinct and so on. When PvP trinket is on cooldown, you just one click to switch it on other offensive trinket or that cooldown time. Very good add-on, very important for PvP and very easy to use. Okay, I already talked about weak auras in Phase 2 guide, so check out that video on how to make auras. I'll just point out that now I'm using Survival Instinct aura with these sidelines and I think it's better than the icon. You can track your HP drop very easy. Go on new aura, progress texture, trigger and write there Survival Instinct. Adjust color and size. Other auras like Box Skin, Savage Aura and Berserk are icon auras. About macros, I'm using Box Skin Player Cast in combination with Trinket Shield. Then we have Berserk with Weapon Active Ability, Cat Form Shapeshift, which you shouldn't be using always in PvP because of Hibernate and such spells. You need to have two different Shapeshift buttons for Cat Form. Then we have Instant Bear Charge on same button. Then we have Bear Maul with a Mangle, Mouse over Hibernate, Cat Form, and Bear Form, Mangle, and Sandfire on same button depends on which rune you have equipped. That's more or less everything you need. When we talk about specific items, first one should surely be Helm of Fire if you're an engineer. Definitely good portion of bonus damage when you combine it with Berserk. I don't really see anyone surviving that. Then we have a hyper productive Gold Warp, also from engineering. This is our Biz, but it's also from engineering, which is hard to get. Then we have Gnomish Death Ray, channel a trinket ability usable in combination with Bash to make enemies stand in place. It also deals 500 plus damage. Then we have Gnomish Net Trinkets to make our enemy stand in place, which could help huge in hitting enemy with couple of shreds. As you can see, there is plenty of engineering items and some of usable crafting explosives and bombs like thorium, grenades with bunch of damage and 3 seconds stun, dense dynamite to add some bonus damage, high yield radiation for some bonus slow, and so on. When it comes to consumes, Elixir of Moongoose is best in slot for world PvP and it prices around 3 gold at the moment, but it rocks. Then we have some other offensive consumes like Elixir of Giants, Elixir of Greater Agility, of Brute Force. Some defensive options are Greater Shadow Protection Potion against Priests, Warlocks, Frost Protection Potion, Elixir of Superior Defense, or one-time usable Greater Stone Shield Potion against Rogues, Reaction Potion, and so on and so on. Don't be coward, don't use any of these in PvP. Just maybe a fancy one, and just don't forget to use Nogenfoger Elixir because they don't know in what shift you are at the moment and it's cool. In this gameplay thread, I will talk about some general things you should be doing in PvP and how to use forms properly and stuff like that. For more serious gameplay and how to beat certain classes, you'll need to smash a subscribe button and follow the content. First thing that is different from Phase 2 is Rune Frenzy Regeneration, which is insane defensive ability now. It scales with HP, so the most effective use of it is in bear form, but you will need to pull some rage before using it. Cat form, it's easiest to use it since energy regens constantly. With King of the Jungle, it could help tons with 60 more energy. The highest possible heals are made with Survival Instinct and Frenzied in bear form at the same time, but I don't recommend wasting both major defensive cooldowns in the same time if you are fighting 1 versus 1, only if you are attacked by a couple of enemies or you are a flag carrier. Improved Frenzy literally counter rogues, L and BM hunters hard, and you will be able to kill 80% of rogues easily now, while it wasn't the case in Phase 2. Rogue only can win with perfect zoning because you won't be able to generate any rage that way. Fight face to face with a rogue is a win, especially now when lesser rate is changed to be on legs instead of hand rune. This video isn't about tactics against certain enemies, and the rotation is still about the same it was in Phase 2. Which is also covered in my Phase 2 Feral Guide. So in general, in PvP, it's important to use the proper runes against enemies. Because for example, you can't kill rogues hunters if you're using normal PvP set. You can't kill paladin if you're using Mangle. On the other side, you can't kill casters if you are wearing tank build because of lack of damage and so on. So it's very important to keep that in mind. About abilities, it's important to keep the Savage Roar up for at least 1 or 2 points. Because without it, your damage is not that good. In most cases, you'll be using Berserk from the start of the fight, and the more shreds you land in that opening crucial seconds, the more chances of winning. Use Rip at least 4 combo points, ideally 5, unless you're opening on Hunter. You can hit 2 to 3 point Rip and back to bear form instantly. In general, only real counter I see are Warlocks with Drain Life. Seems very hard to kill. We need finisher like Ferocious Bite with 100% buff to be viable for this match. Rip damage is just too slow and can out DPS his tankiness and heals. In fact, you're constantly switching cat and bear form in normal fights, where cat form is for DPS and bear is for charge interrupts and frenzy regen. But you don't always use bear for frenzy because that way you again lose DPS, which could be crucial. In that kind of fight, you just roll into cat form and use it while you're still on target and DPSing. Against warriors and hunters, for example, you mostly just do opener in cat form, leave a rip and then go to a bear form. Cause it's impossible to fight in cat form, you'll be demolished. Against rogues, don't ever leave bear form, but ever. Only if rogue is bashed without trinket. On other side, don't camp in bear form against casters, you will just postpone your death with lack of DPS. Avoid kiting mages and leaving them to eat, because you're the one who struggles with CDs and mana, not them. Use Iterate on 30 to 40% mana if you expect more shifts and heals. Don't use it on 10%, it's late. Nothing really more to say about gameplay in general, you just need to follow my future videos or to check some older one, where I do more in-depth against certain classes. Thanks all for watching, I hope I helped you, and if I did, make sure to leave a like and hit a subscribe button. See you soon.